Have a really good think, because somebody you know could earn you a lot of money for very little effort. Think, who do you know that wants to buy a property in Spain? A colleague, a mate, someone in your family, a friend of a friend? If you know someone, go to welcome-estates.com and click the Refer a Friend link. If they buy, you'll pocket a nice chunky thank you from one of Spain's leading estate agents. T's and C's apply. All details at welcome-estates.com.
Hello all you hardcore boxing fans out there, how are you doing? Look who we've got here. The former ring trainer of the year. They're like Oscar for trainers. Joe, have you ever told anybody about that?
No, I haven't heard, to be fair.
It's like your 80, it's like Frotcher's 80,000, isn't it, at Wembley?
It's a good point, might start doing a bit of that then.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright mate, thank you.
We've been here today, me and the lads from Welcome Estate, my team. These kids here, Joe, we've got champions going all the way through the board. Charlie Edwards, I could see why you didn't want me to film him sparring.
I know
you don't like that anyway.
I don't film sparring anyway, but I don't like no film sparring, that's it.
Oh yeah. But he's coming on, isn't he?
Yeah, Charlie's coming on, he's maturing. I think the time out of the ring has helped him settle his family abroad in Portugal. They've been busy doing a guest house. That work's completed now, so they're being it and whatever. It's allowed him to just sort out his family life out a little bit and get his wife settled over there, and him settling into the gymnasium. It's allowed his body to grow and mature. He's 29, 30 now, so he's got that man's strength and just looks a totally different fighter now, and this is the next chapter of his career now. Yeah,
well, he's been at 18 months, hasn't he? Yeah. You've had him 2 years, the one fight with you, and I think that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Natasha Jonas, she's blossomed, hasn't she?
Yeah,
into like the belle of the ball at Sky, hasn't she now?
Yeah, no, she's doing well, bless her. She was in Ireland at the weekend doing an advert for Paddy Power. That'll be out this weekend. She's in today, she's just done some training downstairs now, so she's working towards her date now, July the 1st. So yeah, it's a big fight for her. It isn't a big name that everyone wants for, but all the big names are fighting each other. Once all the dust has settled, then we'll see who the big names are about to fight in September. I need Tasha to be out now, 1st of July, end of September, and then December. That's her 3 fights, and that's her done.
Brilliant. The Welsh kid, 12-0, Sean.
Sean Yaxley, talented,
nice kid.
So yeah, he's a nice kid. Like I say, he's been in the gym a good while. He's been sparring everyone and anyone, and he's coming on, and he's a big Wrexham fan. We always see social media.
Yeah,
he goes to the away matches. He's at the stadium, and he's always at the ground. And we might do a show at Wrexham Football Club.
With Ryan Reynolds.
Well, when he's in town, and to try and get him involved, because I just think there's a great story there. Wrexham's on the rise. Sean's from Wrexham. Sean sold 2 coach loads for a 4-3s exhibition in February, and I keep saying to people at Sky, LCS, and them, you need to give the kid a go. Do you know what I mean? He's got a good backdrop story, and he can fight. He's fighting in 4 weeks, and then he's got a fight then 4 weeks after that. So hopefully he'll be 14-0, and he's gaining momentum, and then in the new season he'll be ready to challenge for titles.
I thought he was a good laugh, wasn't he? We had a bit of banter with him, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a good kid.
He have a laugh.
Wants to fight for Celtic titles, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, they don't want to fight for English.
No, he can't, because from
he don't
but he fight for the Celtic ones. But yeah, no problem. He'll do middleweight or light middle.
Oh, the other kid, Mark Efron, doing well. I'm a big Mark Efron fan. Down to earth kid, isn't he?
Mark just comes in, and his tunnel vision, sometimes too much tunnel vision. So they've just him, Charlie, and Natasha, with the show being put back 2 weeks now. I gave them 3 or 4 days off. Charlie went back to Portugal, Tasha was in Ireland, and I told Mark not to train because they can overtrain, and when it comes to it, then there'll be I've left it in the gym. So they've all had 3 or 4 days off. They're all coming into the gym today now. Bit of freshness about them, and Mark's in a good fight with Zach Charlie, which I think has got to be the fight of the night on that bill.
I asked Mark Efron about his break from the sport, and he says obviously he was a young lad when he had a break, he went out, wanted to go out and see his mates. And do you think that were a good thing for him? I know I always compare things to Frotcher's career, but we know he took time out for 4 years, don't we, from age of 15 to 19 to obviously do what young lads do. But do you think that's probably helped him now? That he did it?
I think everyone has a youth and it depends how long that youth lasts. And like Mark, like anything, he had his youth at that time, and I'm sure he still wants it, but he got it out of his system, and he's back in and he's boxing. And like I said to Mark, the egg time has flipped. Your career now is on that side of it. You've got to make the most of it in the next 12, 18, 24 months and make your money and finish and go. You've got the rest of your life. But he's a very committed family man now. I think having his missus and having the baby, and Poppy, I think she's 6 or 7 now. He's just a total family man, Mark Efron, now. And that's good as a coach to have that.
Yeah, it's good to see him mature and all that.
Yeah,
I heard some wild man stories a few years ago. Hey, listen, they're all young lads, aren't they?
Well,
I mean, the young lads, aren't they, from round here with a few quid in the pocket? They're going to go wild, aren't they?
Yeah.
But at least he's curbed it, hasn't he now?
No, exactly. Yeah, he's concentrating his career.
I think that's brilliant. Paul Butler,
Class act.
class act. We've had him in here, haven't we, Gary?
That's great.
123 bake. How am I going to take him on, Joe?
Paul's good at the snooker and the pool, like you say. He goes around circuits and in the pubs and
play some money, doesn't he?
yeah, he's good at golf as well. He plays. I think he plays off 3 or something.
3 or 5 or something.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's really good. And he was on that Dubai Classic. He went on that tour. Like, do you know what I mean? He's one of them at school that you just think, oh, well, you just piss off. Like, he's just good at everything. Plays football, manages a football team, good at.
He had all game in what he was doing.
He's not too clever at the swimming. He's got that, but everything else is good. And it's just his attitude. He's like an example to everyone in the gymnasium. He was a 2-time world champion. Just fought in New Age. And he's in the gym, coming in, not making a fuss, gets on with it and trains. And we're desperate to get him out now. I need him to get a fight. I spoke to Disrupt the other week. They said, let me know a date. I need Paul to get a date so he can get a win and get back amongst the rankings, get a world title shot. I do think there's another world title in Paul Butler, as there is a Charlie Edwards. Got a show during the night for Vicious 7. So yeah, Kieran, been doing it a good while now. I put my M22 shows on. Kieran helps me out with that, and then with these shows, it helps me put some of my kids on that need fights. So I was got to put Macaulay straight on it because he's just coming off that loss, but his eye isn't the best. But I've put Charlie Edwards on it, and Josh Holmes on it, and Sean Yaxley's on it. I may put Callum Thompson on it. He's fighting in Belfast next week, so that'll be 2 fights in 2 weeks. But the idea is to keep them fighting regular, and like I said to Charlie, whilst you're waiting and hanging around to fight in the big shows, you need to be fighting. So this fight show now, we'll get him out in a 6-rounder, then he's out again a month later, and then he'll be in the picture for world title fights at the back end of the year.
That's brilliant. I want to talk about the Tyler Denny fight against your kid McGowan. I've seen it on social media. I've seen what people have said. I've watched it 3 times. I only watched it the first time. I thought I'd wait until I'd watched it a couple of times. You apparently told them about the headbutts in the rules meeting, and they all in, nothing happened. I didn't see a point.
So basically what it is like everything, when you, before a fight, a championship fight, the referee comes in with Robert Smith or whoever, and they go give the fight instructions. They always say, is there any questions? So I always say, yeah, I've got one. Listen, Tyler Denny, look at Boxrec here, he has a habit of putting the head in and he's getting away with it, and your job is to protect the fighters. At that point, referees say to you, listen, you do your job and I do my job. So he said that, and I said, I know, and I've heard that 100 times around the world, but once the bell goes, a lot of people go, sod it, and they're not protecting me fighter. So I said, all I want you to do, when the bell goes, I've studied this kid for 10 weeks, and I'm telling you now, it goes with the head and it holds on down the straight, so just be aware of it. So during the fight, Macaulay, I think it's around 6 or 7 complained to the ref, and what he was saying was, he's headbutting the shit out of me, I can't go near him because he's putting the head, and I was kicking off because he wasn't protecting me fighter, and that's the job of a referee, which is to protect the fighters. And then he was holding on for day 9, 10, and I was just fuming. I thought it'd be a close fight, but I was really annoyed that, what's the point of asking me any questions, and I've got to give you a heads up, and you're just going to, I feel it went the other way for, nah, you're not telling me what to do. Do you understand? So I was just fuming that you allowed him headbutt the shit out of me.
Is that why you had a face like thunder after?
Well, as I said, spitting feathers, yeah, because I put so much into it for Macaulay. Macaulay's on the building side. That win could have got him that belt and just changed his life.
Got him off that site.
Yeah, got him off site and changed his life, and they're the fine margins, but that kid should have had a point took off for one of the two things, and it didn't, and that point might have made him the win. But listen, we've got to try and get the rematch for it, and we'll go.
Yeah, it's coming to that. Do you think it's warrants a rematch? I do. Have you put a complaint in?
Rematches, so
has a complaint gone in?
No, I don't think there's a need to complain. I think you've seen on social media that night, everyone's sort of like saying McCauley won and that's it, and Sky, and I've said, listen, let's do the rematch up in Manchester this time. It's a good fight. I don't think Tyler has got to be moved quickly anywhere. Denzel Bentley still holds the British title. I think Denzel's after European, so in the meantime, I think Tyler Denham and McCauley McGowan rematch is a good fight.
Do you think there could be a bit of intense beef there, Joe? Or is that died to death now? That?
No. You just got to know when to.
Yeah. We spoke to Natasha Jonas regarding the Terry Harper fight. She were a bit coy on it once. She were going to happen. If it happens, happen. If it don't, it don't. Do you think that boat's gone now?
Listen. I said to keep saying to everyone before, that's Tasha's story to tell, and one day she'll tell it.
Yeah.
Listen, Tasha, I'd like Tasha to retire. She's done it all for me. I don't think there's nothing left for her to do or achieve. I think that Tasha's looking for the big fights now just to get financial security for her and her daughter. I can't blame her for that. But as far as boxing, she's got nothing left to prove to anyone. She's come back, she had a speed bumps, and she pushed Katie Taylor really close. I'd like to see the Katie Taylor fight. I did say to her dad the other week, I said, you know the fight for Croke Park? Oh yeah, I said, you know it's Tasha and them, like, do you know what I mean? We've done it behind closed doors in COVID, let's do it. I think that'd be a big fight, so...
the rematch?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I think that's a good fight.
It'd be a different fight though now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fight again, and I think that'll bring more support over to Croke Park than any other opponent for Katie.
How rewarding is it for you, Joe, to see Natasha come to you? And obviously she had a shock in her first loss, didn't she? She had a very, very fine loss with Taylor and the robbery with Harper. How rewarding is it for you now as a coach to see her win all them belts, Ring Magazine belts? She's undisputed, is she, on the Unified? Unified. She only needs how many belts? One more?
Yeah, just one.
She's Unified champion, and she's got a contract with Sky to do pundit work, which is going to lead to other presenting work apparently with sports.
Yeah.
How rewarding is that for you to get her in this position through boxing and then other things happen? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I think more so as well. They're getting the British Fighter of the Year this year at the British Boxing Board Award of Controls. You got to think 40 years ago they were saying they've never entertained women boxing, and there she was a couple of months ago picking up the Fighter of the Year. So listen, as a coach, what you want to do is the best for your fighters, and it's them eventually at the end of the day that get in the ring and have to do it. All you have to do is line them up and give them the opportunity, and they've got to go and seize it with both hands, and Natasha did that. And you could, I'm a big thing in that if you be nice in life, you get nice back. And Natasha Jonas is a very nice, good-hearted, warm, sincere person, and like I said to her, them times when you didn't win against Katie, that was in lockdown. You didn't win against Terry Harper, that was lockdown. No one was there to see you be crowned. Now when you have won it, it was in front of 20,000 on a pay-per-view event, and everyone's seen it, and all your family were there to celebrate, so things happen for a reason. So this is it now, just enjoy the last chapter of your career.
Brilliant. Have you anything to say or add on the Canelo-John Ryder fight?
No, it was what I thought it'd be. That's what I thought it'd be. Very much like Chavez Holligan. And Holligan was a very good fighter at the time, and he went out there and he was tough, but there's just levels to this, and Ryder gave a good account of himself. It lasted the distance, and that was it. But it never got to win Canelo.
Do you regret when you went gone up against Canelo, going up against him then and not now? Because now it might be a different fight with him and Callum Smith, Beefy Smith. Do you think?
Well, I'd say people overlook Liam. I still think Liam has given Canelo one of the
hardest
fights and the most problems. Listen, he got done with body shots, but everyone knew that he didn't spar for that fight because he had a cut from Kell Brooks, whose body was soft, and eventually Canelo got. But Liam Smith went out, took it to him, put him on the ropes, and gave him some good whacks at times. So that was it. Callum Smith, that was just shocking. That was just handing a title over to Canelo. I just feel Callum Smith that I know for 10-12 weeks, camp, proper sparring, everything else, would still today think have a really good chance of beating Canelo and doing him. To get the fight in 4 weeks' notice, in lockdown, all the hotels were shut, no flights were allowed, couldn't get sparring partners in. I think he only sparred 5 times, he had an ear infection, and then, but like you say, if you've got to lose, you have to lose for the most money. Ricky Hatton could have lost for 3 million against Junior Witter, or 30 million against Mayweather. And
it's no brainer, isn't it?
No, that's it, but I'd love to see that fight. I think if I wanted Callum to fight that fight a bit like Gerald McClellan, the way that he did Julian Jackson, just come out on the front foot and let Canelo worry about you, and that's it. But like I say, it is what it is.
I was so disappointed with that fight, Callum, because I really rate him.
Yeah,
and he took it all on the arms, though, didn't he? Yeah. He kind of battered his arms, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It's just proper old school stuff. But it's just
sorry.
Yeah, it still annoys me when people say, "Oh, blah blah," because it wasn't the proper kind. People say make excuses afterwards, but it's not. It was just that was the current climate. Then Billy Joe got it in May when lockdown was over and everyone could get all the sparring. But you can't talk about it because people just go, "Oh, you're bitter" and all that, but it's not. But that wasn't proper Callum.
It was all a bit rushed, wasn't it, Joe? Really?
I really thought Callum was going to go all the way.
We had a kid over in Belfast we wanted to bring over, but we couldn't because of COVID. With sparring partners around Europe, people forgot you just couldn't bring anyone in sparring.
Do you think there could ever be a Callum?
Well, I'm sure if he beat BTBF, he'll have the belts, and Canelo won't bibble, so there's no point. Yeah.
Do you feel that Canelo's going to swerve David Benavidez, Joe?
I don't think that fight will happen either.
Because there's people are shouting for that fight now, aren't they?
He's always said he wouldn't fight a fellow Mexican, so. But money talks at the end of the day, so we'll see. You never say never.
Would you like to add anything, John, before we wrap it up for today?
Who wins the rematch? Smith or Eubank?
Smith.
Yeah.
Smith, the Eubank can't do anything. He can do his nutrition better, but he's too ingrained with his habits, what he does. He can't box Liam, he'll get outboxed by Liam. He'll try and fight with Liam. It's not that Liam can stand and fight. Liam's one of the most underrated inside fighters in UK, Europe, and I just think whatever he's got an answer for, Liam knows he can hurt him downstairs and how he can hurt us outside. And as long as Liam prepares right, is on it and doesn't take shortcuts, Liam Smith wins. But like I said, you can't rule Eubank out. I'm a bit of a Eubank fan as well. It's just disappointing that he didn't kick on and become a proper genuine world champion Eubank, because I did feel there was an opportunity at one point that he could do, especially after the way that he fought George Groves. I mean, he gave a good account of himself in that fight. And
if Wilder and Joshua happens, who wins that?
Yeah, there's no point. That's just like fucking out. Round one. Will take. Joe, you can't write Joshua off because he's big, he's tall, good jab, good right hand, and as Tyson showed Joe, you got to stand up to Wilder. And a basic straight 1-2 will do him, so you can't write him off. And in heavyweights, all he needs takes one punch. But yeah, I'd like to see Wilder and Chang. I'd like to see Joshua versus Joyce. I think they're two good fights.
Yeah, you mentioned before about the referees not doing the job in the ring. Do you think they could get some help from outside the ring, like an earpiece?
I would say so.
Could do a little bit. They could do. It's like some of the referees sometimes, especially when the young ones are playing a game. I like to say to him afterwards, he was kidding the bollocks off you there. He was hitting on the blind side. You weren't aware to it. Do you want to half help them? Although I'm looking after my fight as well, but afterwards say, we're kidding the bollocks of him, not having a go, but just got to watch that going forward as you go through, because there's all tricks. You just try to pass knowledge down the game, aren't you? But it's down to them. Sometimes people can't be told, or they feel that you're undermining them, that they're, listen, I'm not telling you what to do in the corner, you don't tell me what to do as a ref, so I go, all right. Okay.
But if you had an assistant on the outside like they do in football now, I know it's a bit...
No, they could do, they could do.
I think more help for the referee in the ring would.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Even the fight up a bit.
Yeah, it would do, yeah.
Great, John, going for it. Go on, John, eh? You happy, Gary? You all happy? Joe, yes. Morris, you're gentlemen, you're doing something in the community that not everybody understands.
You're looking dapper there today.
Yeah, let me wrap it up, John. Let me wrap it up, John. You're doing something in the area that's fantastic here. Thanks for having us round. You've got a good bunch of kids. There's one prima donna in there. It's nice to see that.
There's how many?
There isn't one prima donna. Divas. There's no divas in here, is there, Morris? No. You do see them though, don't you?
If there was, they'd get on that bus now and be fucking sent into Manchester. What don't happen that, innit?
That's brilliant. Alex Ferguson didn't have him, did he?
No.
He didn't have any of them boozers when he took them on. Kevin Morano reading this morning with Robson and other one. Whiteside, Remy Moses, all them lot were all pissed, weren't they? Oh, Remy Moses, is he a Salford lad? Moss Side lad, sorry, yeah? You're from round here? He played for England, didn't he, Remy Moses? A small world, didn't he, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe used to be a bit of a footballer, Gary. Didn't you, Joe?
Yeah, that's all right. Come on.
Good Joe, he's going red now. Joe, take care, thanks for having us. We'll go for some lunch. Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.